Mike Kinderleiter here, the Dean of Powerwash with Powerwash.com at Powerwash University. And today I'm with Nico Kauffman with Keen's Pressure Wash. And Nico has reached out to me because he wants to share his knowledge on Christmas lights with our group. And I think that's really cool, Nico. That's awesome that you're doing this and taking the time to share with others in the industry. So I definitely have questions for you. We're just going to kind of fly by the seat of our pants here and see how it goes, and a big thank you to you for doing this. I think that's really
let's do it. No, thank you for taking the time. You always take the time to respond to people, which is huge, and that's why I reached out to you to begin with.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're on a job site right now, right?
Yeah, I'm on a job right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of a last minute job, but yeah, I mean, when a customer says, hey, I want to get my lights up tomorrow if we can do it, and you tell them that you have some time later on in the week to do it, you just get it done.
Yeah, there you go.
One less house to do during the super busy season.
Right.
And this guy's he's a megaphone for me. I don't pay for advertising at all. Everything I do is word of mouth. And
oh, nice.
We'll probably do, if I can gross 100 grand in Christmas lights this year, I'll be happy.
Oh, nice. Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of my questions. When did you first start doing Christmas lights?
Last year was my first full season, starting November 1st. The year before that, I worked for about 3 weeks for another company. A really good family friend who, oh gosh, I don't even know how many houses he does. I know that 95% of his light hanging is all rehangs. He takes on maybe 5 new clients a year, and he pulls 6 figures just doing rehangs. So I worked for him up until, gosh, I lied. No, I worked for him from like November 1st to Thanksgiving. Was out of town the week of Thanksgiving, came back the Saturday after Thanksgiving and started on my own there. So I had like half a season. So this will be my second full season on my own, doing it under my business.
How did you do the first season that you were in it?
Oh man, I think I picked up like 20 clients.
Okay.
Which, that was pretty good. Number wise, I don't have those numbers off the top of my head as far as financial goes, but it was, I would say my average job was probably like $650 that first year. So I'm like, yeah, I think that's what I'm hearing other people say. That's about an average install. So that works out really good. And yeah.
So how many customers do you think you'll have this year with it?
I'd like to be at about 200 houses at the end of this season. I want to pick up about 130.
Yeah.
And I don't run my business the way that most people do. Is I'm referral only. I don't really work on houses that are valued at less than $1 million.
Right.
So I'm going bigger and better each and every year, and it's not, I can charge this person more money because I think they have more money. It's whether it's pressure washing, window cleaning, Christmas lights, a bigger house is going to yield bigger numbers. And the less that you can set up and tear down all of your stuff throughout the day, the more money you're going to make at the end of the day. My first year pressure washing, I spent more time driving my truck than I did doing jobs. And they were little, 800 square foot driveways and $150. And
oh man,
same thing with the lights, as they were small, and just each year it's grown and grown. So I've become the guy in Portland for luxury home services. Yeah, windows, pressure washing, roofs, and Christmas lights. It's
good for you. Congratulations. So my question would be, since you're doing pressure washing already, this is kind of why we're selling lights now. It's for people who are doing pressure washing and to be able to go back to their current customer base. So are you doing that? Are you like reaching out to your current customer base and letting them know that you're doing lights?
Oh yeah, beyond belief. I use Christmas lights to really get me in with the clients that I want. I have other strategies getting in for pressure washing, window cleaning with higher end homes, but especially for the Christmas lights, you're not paying somebody to do Christmas lights if you don't have extra money.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
So
they probably won't. They're going to be the guys that want power washing done too later on.
Yeah, exactly. And it's everything I do. I've never had money to advertise. And then I started doing so well without any advertising that I just made my word of mouth so good. So I create customers for life.
Okay.
I see my clients at minimum 2 times a year, sometimes 3. A lot of them I try to do 3. Window cleaning twice a year, pressure washing once a year, and Christmas lights once a year. And the spring service, we double up the window cleaning with the pressure washing. And then it just gets too busy Christmas time to try and do windows and Christmas light install in the same day. It's counterproductive.
Right.
Almost. So try and get this time of year, get the fall window cleaning in, and then get them set up for Christmas lights. You're there to do other stuff for them. Tell them about the Christmas lights. And a lot of my clientele comes from realtors, whether it's people moving out of state or a lot of it's new people coming in, and they'll get them set up. And if you want me to come out and give you a bid for Christmas lights, I'm going to give you a bid for pressure washing, window cleaning, roof cleaning, or whatever you call me out there for.
Right.
It's a very easy way to get a quote unquote upsell. But at the same time, it also lets your clients know that they don't have to call 3 different people for 3 different services. They can call one guy and establish one relationship, which with the level of clientele that I go for, that's what they want.
Right.
Like, man, one less person that I need to call. So absolutely, even especially with all the COVID stuff going on, and we've got a lot of guys that, I don't have any work. It's like, dude, when was the last time you picked up the phone and just started, hey, I'm going to call 25 people a day and just say, hey, how are you doing? You remember me? And just check in. That's brought me so much business this year. It's insane. It's been my biggest year so far, and we're at 3 years full time.
Nice.
On my own deal. And
yeah, good. So are you
like, wow, it's good.
Are you primarily a one-man show, or do you have some help that you work too?
No, I have one employee. He's been with me for about a month. And then during the busy season, like for me, Christmas lights, it's possible to do it on your own. But if you want to make a name for yourself and make money, you kind of need some help.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's crazy how much the productivity goes with that extra set of hands. And it's a hard pill to swallow, because there are some weeks where, we had some really bad wildfires up here, and I'm not going to go and pressure wash and clean windows when you can't see 150 feet in front of you because the smoke is so dense in town, sort of deal. So it's like, that's a disservice. So we went out and volunteered anywhere between 7 and 12 hours a day at a relief center. And it's like, my guy still has bills to pay. So, do the right thing and pay him. And if he says, no, don't worry about it, then, that's his choice, but at least always make that offer. And it's been a hard leap to be able to be like, man, $20 an hour, and try and fulfill that need, because trying to find people that work hard it's hard. This guy, I said, hey, what's it going to take for you to come and work for me full time? I work this many hours, this is what I make, and this is how many days a week I work. I was like, all right, well, how about you work 5 days a week and make the same amount?
Right.
And here we are. So it's been working out great.
Good.
It's little things. Like this morning I was at the gym and I paid for 3 months of his gym membership up front. So it's just like, cool, like that was like $120. But yeah, it makes a world of difference.
Cool. That's real good. So, I like hearing that. I like hearing your growth too. That's really awesome.
Dude, I try. Like, I want to grow this, but I don't want to get too big, because the relationships that I have with my clients are everything. Yeah. So if I get too big, then that might lack, and I can't have that happen.
Right. Well, I think that you're taking time there just to stop and do it. So when does the season start for installing the Christmas?
Oh man,
because this is the beginning of.
It's so hard to say. This year is really weird. Yeah, and people are asking for it this year. Even if you hop in like the Christmas light groups on Facebook, there's been several people asking like, hey, like, are you the big companies? Yeah, they're installing already, but little guys like me, and I'd say if you're doing 125 houses or less, most of those guys aren't really starting until November 1st.
Right.
And more people are asking for it earlier. I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of people being home a lot more with all the COVID stuff going on. But it's hard to say. If someone asks me to do something, I'm not going to tell them no.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, I think they're looking forward.
Yeah, they're looking forward to it.
They want Christmas to come around. They want a happy time, and that's what Christmas does. It generally brings a lot of joy to people's lives, and seeing those lights out there is part of that. And they're just they want to get all this COVID stuff out of their lives.
Exactly. I put lights up on my house. I had like 3 or 4 people send me an article on Facebook about putting your Christmas lights up for COVID back in like March. So I've had red, white, and blue lights up on my house for the last 6 months.
Oh, really?
I'm like, why not? And like people just love it. Yeah. My neighborhood's a huge walking neighborhood. I probably have 50 people a day walk by my house, and I live in a neighborhood. It's just super popular to go on walks where we live, and everyone's like, oh, I love the lights. Thank you. Wait till Christmas time.
All right.
It's going to look like Christmas threw up over here.
So my next question for you would be, if someone is new getting in and they're a power washer looking to get into Christmas lights, what advice would you give them? And what was your biggest challenge? So there's 2 questions. What advice and what was your biggest challenge getting into Christmas lights?
Oh man, I think I'll start with the challenge. The biggest challenge for me was getting used to having inventory. We're pressure wash guys. You have a couple of gallons of this, a couple gallons of that you use on a regular basis, and you buy 4 gallons of rust remover. That can, depending on where you're at, that can last you anywhere between a month and some guys a year.
Yeah.
And Christmas lights, it's just like, they go fast. Like they go really fast.
Oh, I bet.
So I think trying to keep on top of inventory is a huge thing, and you can't hesitate to spend money. And that's one thing that I realize about even window cleaners. Everybody wants to be cheap, and if you want to do good work, you can't be cheap. You have to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And that's Christmas lights. And you have to be really comfortable with knowing how much you need to make. And that's another issue that I see in home services. What do you charge for this? Dude, my bottom line is different than your bottom line. If you've got 40 employees, you need to make a lot more money than the guy that's got no employees. So those are 2 of the biggest challenges that I've faced. What was the other part of that question? Oh, what advice would you give? Man, spend more than you think you're going to need to spend. You get to a point where it sucks to spend that money. Like, dude, 4 years ago when I started my business, I was paying for groceries with food stamps. And now I pay myself 6 figures a year.
That's nice. That's real good. Yeah. Congratulations. Good for you.
Thank you. It's been a total life changer. And you get really random stuff that people want for Christmas lights, like this install that I'm doing right now. It's all leftover inventory from last year.
Oh, good.
So at the same time, it's like whatever you have left over, you're still going to use it. You're still going to make money at it. And you have to take the time and do a quality job. There's a company up here that they're lacking in a lot, and the biggest issue for me is their install quality is terrible. So,
well, that's going to be hard for them to get a call back then too.
Not only that, but then their clients start to call me, and I look at their lights, and it's just a mess.
Yeah.
I leave my lights to the point where anybody can put them up. Every strand is labeled. So if the homeowner says, hey, I want to do my own lights this year, cool, have at it. let me know how being up on that roof works out for you. But
right.
You'll know where every single strand goes. You have to have a process. And once you can get that set up, you're golden.
Yeah. So that's really important, having the process. And
I think that's the biggest piece of advice is get a good process and don't let your lights become a mess. Get everything labeled. Upper gutter, lower gutter, gable, garage doors, however you need to label it to make it easy. A lot of people, even myself, struggle because I've been doing it, I guess, 3 years now, let's say, is you forget a lot of the small intricate details. Like pretend you're teaching a 5-year-old how to do this so anybody can do it.
So yeah, because you get a long pause between seasons and then you're back out there doing it again, and that's what
you don't know where strands go. When you've got 300 feet of lights and they all look the same, and some dormers are 4 bulbs longer than the other one. So if you go up and string up a dormer and you're like, oh, I'm 2 bulbs short on each side, or vice versa, I'm 2 bulbs too long on this side and we're 4 bulbs long at the end. You don't want to be that guy that has to cut 4 bulbs off or completely unstring it and then connect them together again.
well, time is money, and that's your biggest cost is labor. And if you're wasting time doing that, then you're going to have a hard time being successful.
Exactly. Pump the brakes on the initial install. Don't worry about the money today. Worry about the long-term revenue that you get from what you do.
So it sounds like what you're talking about there is that you're renting or leasing your lights to the customer. They're not actually buying them from you then, correct?
Yeah, essentially it's kind of like a mix. I come in with a lot of confidence, and I know that it's hard to beat my customer service. If you saw my post yesterday, that was, we're a customer service business. We just happen to provide pressure wash, window cleaning, Christmas light services.
Yeah, there you go.
So my intent is, they're my lights, but at the same time, if a customer goes, well, hey, I want my lights for my house because for some terrible reason we had a falling out, it's not worth it for me to piss this guy off over Christmas lights that have made their money back 5 times over the initial install. So if somebody wants their lights, then I'll give it to them. You know what? They're my lights at the end of the day. But if the customer wants to leave and have somebody else do it, say, hey, I'll figure out something, but I don't ever see that happening. So
right.
It's hard to say. It's kind of like
I like that approach.
Yeah, and my first year is I charge about half each following year after the initial install. So if your first year is $1,000, $500 after that takes a fraction of the time, and it's labor. Yeah. You can be in and out of a lot of houses, and if you can be in and out of a house in 2 hours and make $500, $250 an hour is pretty good money for a crew of 2 to 3 guys.
Yeah, it is. It's real good. All right. So in closing, any closing thoughts or ideas you want to leave people with for getting into Christmas lights?
Oh man, just do it. Just do it. It's like when you started your pressure washing business or your window cleaning business. You were, I don't know if I want to spend that money to get involved in it. And then you start doing it and you're like, oh man, this is great. I'm making more money in a weekend than I do at my job in a 2-week pay period. This is incredible. And it's the same thing for Christmas lights. It just costs more money to get started up front. But yet at the same time, you're not really getting into the wash business for less than $4,000 if you want a somewhat decent machine.
Well, that's true.
I started with $500, but hey, 2 gallons a minute takes a long time to make $50.
You're learning the hard way at 2 gallons a minute.
Dude, but when you need to start making money, an extra $50 a week changed my life.
Yeah.
So it's just do it and go into it with confidence, and don't hesitate to reach out to people. Find somebody that is doing what you want to do and just ask them for help.
Yeah.
You've helped me with countless things because I exhausted my resources on the search bar of multiple groups. And when you find somebody that's been doing it for a good amount of time that really comes across like they know what they're doing, and you can see that they know what they're doing by the businesses that they have and the image that they have and the reputation that they have, it takes nothing. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 guys right now that I help out. 2 of them I spend, I would say, 6 hours a week on the phone with, walking them through stuff. And it's not even work related. A lot of it's, I had an hour and 15-minute long conversation with a guy because him and his wife are kind of butting heads and being like, hey man,
that
I get where you're coming from, but you're in the wrong, dude. Like,
right.
The happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
So with
Very
that,
true.
yeah, happy wife, happy life. Make sure your wife has the best Christmas lights in the neighborhood and she'll love you.
That's good. I like
so
that.
Just go for it. I think my mom told me when I was young that you might feel stupid for raising your hand and asking a question in class, but you're really stupid if you don't answer the question.
Right. Yeah.
Or something like that. I wish I knew the way that quote actually went, but don't hesitate to look silly. Don't hesitate to look dumb. Like, I'm the guy that will go to a big open house or go to some sort of real estate party in a suit that's covered in Christmas lights and lights up. It's
just do it.
You got to be different. You got to be unique. So just do it and be resilient.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot to be said for just doing it, getting out there, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up. Allow yourself to do it. It's you know, nothing ever happens if you're sitting on the couch. So if you get out there and start doing stuff, that's when you're going to make a difference. And no matter how slow or how many problems you have along the way, you're never going to be successful if you're sitting on the couch.
Exactly. And a big thing too, I know that you're totally pushing your lights, and that's huge for you guys to get into the Christmas light business and be a reputable distributor for that. But another thing too is that I see is so many guys are set on, well, this is my supplier. This is my supplier. It doesn't hurt to have a local supplier as backup.
Yeah.
I have to go pick up some stuff from a local company, and it's just like, don't waste a whole job because you can't get stuff today.
Yeah.
It's no matter what you do, you have to be resilient, but still have your customer loyalty, because there are people that will take care of you in the long run that you wouldn't see at the time of. I didn't think that you would provide a ton of value to me just adding you on Facebook to be, I'm friends with Mike Hinderlatter, the guy that owns Powerwash.com, like Mr. Cool Guy over here. And I'm like, damn, this dude, like, I think I just reached out to you and just started bullshitting with you one day, and then ask you little questions here and there, and you can just pick up so much on having good relationships with people. So, relationships are everything in business.
When it comes down to it, that's what life is. It's just having good relationships. I couldn't agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just, I build relationships. That's all I do.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
In exchange for that, we do other services.
Yeah. Well, Nico, I appreciate what you're doing and sharing with everybody.
Thank you, sir.
I don't want to keep you from that job all night or the rest of the day, because I know you got to get it done. You need a happy customer.
Let's go back and walk on some 12-12s. Absolutely. No, thank you for the opportunity, and let's definitely talk soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Take care.
Right on. See ya.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.